One. Hello, Jeremy. My name is Patrick. I'll be your counselor for this evening. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Patrick.
Now, before we get started, I would like to address that this is a fully confidential space. This office, everything you say here will stay here. I will be taking some notes throughout the session for my own personal communication. So if we do have another session later on, I'm able to refer back to that. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, sure.
And I would like for you to also know that anything major you will say, whether it's self-harm to yourself or self-harm to or harm to others, that will be addressed in case it is of dire emergency. I want you to be aware of that. As much as this is a safe space, we are also mandated reporters for anything of this nature.
So if I don't say anything alarming, you guys won't notify my parents or anything?
That's not how it works.
All right, that's fine with me, I guess.
We're here for your safety, especially of what all has currently happened to you. But before we address that and try and understand that, I want to understand who Jeremy is. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Um, I mean, if I'm being honest, I don't know what is there to tell. What would you like to think? There's anything really notable that stands out?
I think there's a lot of things about Jeremy that we can learn. I think me and you have a different perspective on who Jeremy is.
What would you like to know about Jeremy?
Tell me about how Jeremy feels about college. I know it's his first year, but tell me about.
I'm not doing so hot, which is surprising. If you ask anyone from high school how I did, they'd say I was a straight A student, good at this and that, and I did the debate team. I was captain of the team, and I did community service that every black. So if I were to tell any of them that I'm not doing hot in college, they wouldn't believe you. They wouldn't believe me. They wouldn't believe it. So I'm not doing so hot in college. Very out of it, but I'm still here.
So you would say the difference between the difference between high school Jeremy versus college Jeremy is you feel like there's a lack of achievement.
I mean, it pains me to say it, but yeah, because I don't think I ever really acted achievement. If anything, I don't think it's more so the lack of achievement. I think it's increased and just keep losing and losing and failing and failing. It's a lot.
I'm sorry to hear that. I understand that failure can always feel horrible, but failure will breed success. And I don't want you to have the idea of failure as a hurdle or as a fence that prevents you from going anywhere. It's merely another door that you have to overcome. It's another issue. It's another challenge. Don't let that drag it down, is one of my initial reactions to that. Now, going from this, I want to address the elephant in the room. From what the report has told me, from what the parents as well as the other first responders, they said that they found you with a shard of glass in your forehead as well as glass around you. Can you tell me what happened in that situation?
Um, uh, Call me dumb, but I tried to just end it all by banging my head in the bathroom mirror, and I wanted to really grab the biggest part of glass I could just use to slit my throat, bleed to death quietly without making too much of a ruckus or a racket. And well, before I could get the start of blast, neck, throat, everything just went black. I wake up, I have IV needles in my arm, and I'm just in the hospital. Bright lights, all that stuff. I show back as my parents are there, and they looked so concerned. Both of them were concerned for me, and then I felt like I goofed up because now I made them take them out of their days because of something I did.
I don't want you to feel like that. The main reason why I don't want you to feel like that is because they care for you. That's the parent's job. As much as it is your job to take care of yourself, it's their job to take care of you as well. Now, I want to ask before we get into anything else, was this premeditated?
No, didn't like go out of my way to search for anything to do it. Just some days I'd look in the mirror and I'd hate what I see. And that hateful day, I guess we call it. Enough was enough. Too much was too much. I got tired of looking at what was in the mirror. Excuse me. And then I just decided I hate what I see and break the mirror, look at it, and I'm gonna finish myself off so I can stop having to feel what I feel.
I'm very sorry you feel that way. I don't want to sound like a broken record. That's not good.
You know,
Regardless of how you're feeling, failure is not the end of you. I don't want this to continue. Thoughts of suicide, as well as any suicidal tendencies, are a very horrible thing because it is a very selfish thing. Because you not only affect yourself, but you affect all the other people around you, whether it's your roommates, your friends, your family, your parents, your siblings. It does have consequences. It's a very negative thing, and I'm very sorry you feel this way. Now, I am glad that it's not a premeditated action because otherwise we'd really have to look for an investigation, really dig into it. I'm glad it was. I'm sorry. We're glad it's done correctly. I am.
you know,
I feel better that it is not premeditated versus it is because it means it was a spur of the moment versus something very chronic, something that need to be addressed.
yeah, sometimes I stop thinking about it because I reckon if I just try to take my own life or like hang myself or some bills, I'll just be making life different.
Now, I want to ask if there were any major risk factors prior to this engagement.
It's a risk.
A risk factor would be something that has happened either in recent times, either with yourself or your environment, something like that. It's family, friends, work related, school related, or just a general environmental change. Normally,
No,
of normally of negativity. I apologize for cutting you off.
no, it's okay. But I don't really think anything's bad. I mean, my home life is okay. I alternate between homes. My parents got them when I was really young. Um, whichever house I'm in, I'm taking care of my siblings. Every time my siblings treated like Santa Claus walked through the door. So I mean, I guess they're happy to see me. I'm happy to see them. And I guess it's happy. I mean, despite the fact that they're all my half siblings, they treat me as which I am, but it's just it sucks. But they did the best they could. They call parents. They could have choice.
Now, excuse me. You talked about your siblings, about how they're all half siblings to yourself. In a way, it felt like you're feeling very isolated and very like outlandish towards them or compared to them. Do you feel this way? Do you feel like you're something completely different from the rest of them?
Not recently, back in the day.
Can you elaborate on that?
There's not really much to elaborate on. Parents were divorced, siblings, we weren't really fully related. I couldn't, the person, when they talked to dad, it wasn't the person to talk to dad. And the other two, they were talking about their, so, I mean, despite that, they still treated me like I was an equal. Yes.
I can understand why that can be hard, and why that would be a very large issue.
Life's someone that's tougher than me. So I don't really
I feel like there's also a lot less people that do have a hard, not in the sense of the shelter and the other needs that are met for you, but more so in the psychological. Not many people attempt this sort of thing. And from what I understand, you do need help. As much as you help others, you yourself need help. Do you have anything to say about that?
want to be a burden to people. I just want to get back on my feet and go back to studying. I have fun. I should probably start studying and try not to fail.
That's a good idea. I want to at least say that much. Now, we talked about the risk factors that you may have. From what you told me, that it's more so your own personal uh, incongruencies. But I would like to ask the opposite. Do you think you have any healthy relationships or any healthy connections or networks that you find to be beneficial to your person?
Outside of family, no.
How often do you talk to your
It's a week. Typically on a Friday afternoon, I call them.
what do you guys talk about?
School and work out. Just catch the last of it for now.
What about any of your emotions, your feelings, your thoughts? Anything that would have gave them any clue of this?
Burden. So I don't find anything. So many kids from to worry about. Each of them should have live separately.
What's I want to ask you this directly. I'm gonna set aside stuff. What's with you not wanting to feel like a burden?
I mean, that's what I feel like. I hate to throw a pity party, but if your parents are a happy couple and then once you're born 2 months into your life, they just split, they would have stayed together about it. You know what I mean? Let's not forget that they wouldn't be here right now forcing each other to deal with one another if I didn't do what I did. Already a burden. This is I don't need to make them other those around me.
So, from what I understand, and from what you've told me so far, you really have a double standard with others helping you.
Is it really a double standard?
I would say so. Between you putting forth all your time and effort helping others and achieving things that they're unable to do themselves versus others going to help you and you denying it because that's part of their job. I would fully classify that as a double standard.
No, no. All I know is that since I was a kid, every time someone helped me out, it just didn't feel right. It's like whenever people help me out, and I have no choice but to accept it. It's like I'm pushing the door. So this is not what the door should be doing. And that's how I feel when someone else doing this. You know, well, and
I find that to be very incongruent with your person. You're willing to help as much as you can, but not receive it. That feels very wrong. In some cases, even rude to others, especially your parents. They're there to help you, regardless of everything else, especially family. What's with that?
I don't know. I mean, grow up knowing that your birth probably your birth probably caused your parents to grow up. Then you realize that okay, well, I'm sorry. That's what I can do by simply just I'll try to be responsible. You don't have to do the same.
They aren't losing their happiness. They're there to help. They're there to listen.
Never go miserable.
Well, you're not making me miserable. I want to make sure that you understand that. I'm here to help. And I don't care how much you're trying to push back. I'm here to care for you. I'm here to help you. And here to help you get back on your feet if you want. And as much as this is something that you don't want, this is something you need. And I want to address that in a very formal manner. And I want to address that so you understand completely. I'm here because I want to be. I'm not a therapist. I'm a human. And humans help humans.
So, you know,
Yeah. Now, I would like to ask, get back to the formal questions here. Are there any relationships or resources that you find that are available to you that you think would be beneficial?
I mean, I know the campus has a pretty okay track and field team.
Mhm.
You try joining that. Perhaps it'll be given a mind of things. I don't know how I'll do considering I already started with crazy athletic grade checks. And yes, it all means some structure. And some
That's a very good start. Build a sense of community, build a sense of friendship with some of your teammates. Now, what about any resources for mental health directly?
isn't this enough?
I would say no. From what you've told me, you have a lot of feelings of depression and how things have been going for this past semester. Like you said, it's towards the end. If you've been feeling this way for the past several weeks, I don't want you to put a band aid on an open wound. We want to heal this. We want to make this whole again. You understand?
What services do you recommend?
I would highly recommend the counseling services here on campus. I can put in a word for you to get an immediate time slot. Granted, it will work around your schedule once that is provided. And I would like for you to go to them weekly, if not bi-weekly, at least twice a week. That way you're able to really give your emotions and really break through, especially if you are going to start doing sports again. Try and understand the bonds and connections and have more of a guidance. Does that make sense? Are you willing to try that out?
It'll help me stop being a burden on you. Well, let me not say that. If it'll help me get back on track, then yeah, I'd like to stop it.
Okay. I'm glad to hear that. Now, I'd hate to cut this section short, but we're running low on time.